Hey, it's me, Koiti, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. This is a wedding gift for a friend who's pretty into Studio Ghibli. It is probably one of the harder projects I've ever done, just because of the electronics and then also some woodworking and everything. So I'll show you how I made it. This was a fun project for a few reasons. So one, I got to go to this place called American Science and Surplus. Two, I got to do 2 different types of soldering, one of which I'd never really done before. And then 3 is for a friend, which just makes it a little more fun to do because I know she's really gonna like it. So American Science and Surplus is a surplus store. They basically just buy 10,000 10-volt DC motors or something. And they'll get them super cheap because they had to buy 10,000. And that's kind of the cool part of the store. There's so much just random electronics there for not very much money. So it's a cool place to just look around. You can get pretty inspired there and you'll just find what you need, find what you didn't know you needed. And for this project, I got pretty much all the electronics at American Science and Surplus. They're also just super helpful there and knowledgeable, so it is a great store. So after I got everything that I needed at American Science and Surplus, I also went to Goodwill. I pretty much had all the materials that I needed, but there was some to attach the motor that I got to the axis that would actually spin the picture. And to do this, I did one type of soldering, which was like jewelry soldering, which my mom helped me with. And basically, it didn't need to be super pretty, but I just used copper, punched out the circles, and then created this pulley. Not the easiest way to do it by far. If I had like a 3D printer or something, it would have been way easier, but I don't have a 3D printer. And then I also did electrical soldering, which is like, I mean, it's the exact same concept, it's soldering, but you just use slightly different materials and it can be even more quick and dirty. I realized that you can, as long as you get a good connection, you just cover that stuff up with shrink wrap and you're good to go. So that's like basically what I did. When I soldered all the electronics together, it was ugly, but got the job done, and then I just put shrink wrap over it to make it look a little bit better and cover up the imperfections. Just kind of quick. So here's a quick build montage with some voiceover work of the other aspects of the project. I started with making the outer frame with that wall art, I guess, that I had gotten from Goodwill. This ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated because I just did the math super wrong on how to build a box, and I ended up having to like recut all the wood, I think multiple times, honestly. Yeah, I did eventually get the box working. It just took me like 3 days and a bunch of wood glue and sanding, but I got it done. And with the box finally complete, I made the holes and the cutouts for the different electronics, like there was the light mount and the switch, and I painted the inside gray and then tested some of the electronics just to make sure I was on the right track. I cut tubing and drilled some holes on the inner frame, and I used a bunch of JB Quick, because it sets a little bit quicker. It's nice. And then I went ahead and fixed some of the imperfections. I used wood glue mixed with sawdust, and that gets it nice and smooth. And then I just painted it. Nice yellow color, as you can see. Final test here, and thank God for my sanity. Everything was finally working. I was super happy about that. So then here she is, all pretty with the pictures in and Totoro's in his spot. This project was definitely a test of my patience in a lot of ways, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I'm actually super excited to work with more electronics in the future. So yeah, just thanks a lot for watching, and please consider subscribing if you are interested in more of the random stuff that I make.